Keisha always said betrayal had a sound. Not the lie itself, not the cheating, not even the whispering behind your back. It was the sound of your best friend going quiet when you asked a direct question. That was how she knew Monique was lying. For 3 years, Keisha and Antonio had been the couple people envied. They were loud, magnetic, always posting matching outfits, vacation clips, date nights, inside jokes nobody else understood. Antonio talked about marriage the way some men talk about weather, casually, like it was obviously coming. And Monique had been there through all of it. Monique, her day one friend. Monique, who called Keisha sis. Monique, who held her hand through breakups before Antonio, job losses, family drama, and every tear-filled night that came with being young and trying to build a life before you even fully knew yourself. So when Keisha started noticing the little things, she told herself she was being paranoid. Monique suddenly hiding her phone when Antonio texted the group chat. Antonio knowing things Keisha had only told Monique. The way Monique stopped making eye contact anytime Keisha brought him up. Then there was Marcus. Marcus had been Antonio's best friend forever, the funny one, the smooth one, the one every woman said was dangerous because he made dishonesty sound charming. Keisha never trusted him, mostly because he always looked like he knew things before everybody else did. One Friday night, Kim dragged Keisha to Tori's birthday dinner at Megan's rooftop bar. "You need to get out the house," Kim said, fixing Keisha's necklace. "You've been acting weird for 2 weeks." "I'm not acting weird," Keisha muttered. "You checked Monique's location 3 times in 10 minutes. Keisha opened her mouth to argue. Then she saw them. Across the rooftop, near the back stairwell, Antonio had Monique pinned gently between the wall and his chest, his hand on her waist, his mouth against hers like he had every right in the world. Keisha stopped breathing. Kim saw it a second later and grabbed her arm. "Keisha." But Keisha was already moving. The slap cracked so hard the music seemed to pause around it. Monique stumbled back, eyes wide, lipstick smeared. Antonio stepped forward, shocked, but Keisha shoved him in the chest before he could speak. "How long?" she said, voice shaking. Nobody answered. That hurt more than the kiss. Tori and Megan had gone silent. People stared. Marcus stood off to the side with a drink in his hand, watching like he'd expected this exact moment. Keisha laughed once, and it sounded broken. "That's what I thought." Monique finally found her voice. "Keisha, listen." "No." Keisha stepped back, looking between them. "You listen. You didn't just take a man. You took your turn pretending to be my friend." Antonio reached for her. "It's not what." She slapped him next. This time the rooftop really did go quiet. Keisha left with Kim before either of them could follow. By the next morning, she had blocked Antonio, deleted every picture that made her sick, and ignored the 23 missed calls from Monique. But hurt didn't leave just because you cleaned up the evidence. It sat in your chest and got smarter. And revenge, Keisha learned, didn't always have to be loud. Sometimes it just had to be patient. 2 weeks later, Monique got everything she thought she wanted. Antonio started posting her, taking her out, showing her off like Keisha had been some temporary thing and Monique had been the real prize all along. People talked, of course. Some took sides. Samantha from work said Monique was foul. Eric from the gym said Antonio was weak. Lou, the bartender, said the whole situation was messy and predictable. Keisha said nothing. She just smiled more, posted less, and started answering Marcus's texts. At first it was harmless, a reaction to an Instagram story. "You good" message after the breakup. A random late-night conversation that somehow turned into 4 hours of laughing about everybody they used to know. Marcus was different one-on-one, less slick, more observant. He told Keisha the truth in pieces, like he knew too much and was trying not to drown her in it all at once. Antonio had cheated before. Monique had wanted him long before Keisha knew. The whole thing hadn't started that night on the rooftop. It had started months ago. Keisha cried after that call. Then she got cold. So when Marcus asked her to come to Megan's game night a month later, she said yes. Monique was there when Keisha walked in on Marcus's arm. The room shifted instantly. Antonio's smile disappeared. Tori nearly dropped her cup. Kim, sitting on the couch, stared at Keisha and slowly grinned like she finally understood the plan. Marcus played his part beautifully. Hand on Keisha's lower back, whispering in her ear, laughing too close, looking entirely unbothered. Antonio pulled Keisha aside within minutes. You doing this to make me mad? Keisha tilted her head. Would it be working if I was? His jaw tightened. Marcus is my friend, she smiled, and Monique was mine. That one landed. Across the room, Monique was already unraveling. She cornered Marcus near the kitchen and hissed something sharp enough to make Megan and Tori turn around. Marcus just laughed and walked off. Later that night, after too much tension and too much pretending, Monique finally exploded. You think you won? She snapped at Keisha in front of everyone. You think taking Marcus fixes what happened? Keisha stepped closer, calm as glass. I never wanted Marcus. Monique blinked. Keisha smiled slowly. I wanted you to feel watched, replaced, lied to. I wanted you to wonder if every smile in this room was fake. Antonio looked between them, confused. Marcus leaned against the counter, silent now. Keisha's eyes locked on Monique's. I wanted you to feel me leave before I actually did. Then she turned to Antonio. And you? She said softly. She'll do to you exactly what she did to me. The only difference is, this time I get to enjoy the wait. Keisha walked out with her head high, and Kim right behind her. By the time the shouting started inside Megan's house, she was already halfway to her car. And for the first time since the rooftop, Betrayal had a new sound. Not silence, not lies, just the beautiful noise of everything they built together finally falling apart.